Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 4th of November episode of BB&B live stream, where we have B. We do, in fact, on occasion, talk about B. B-craft. So I was sitting here, and I started the countdown. I took a sip from my water bottle and realized it was a work water bottle with the logo all over it. So ran upstairs and refilled this guy up here. Aside from the water, I have a little bit of tea as a good drink. The Museum of Making Music, 8th of November 2015 through 31st of July 2016. Bass, a voice instrument or a sound of the lowest range. Synonyms: low, low-toned, low-pitched, deep, rumbling, booming, resounding, resonant, sonorous, and profound. Bass is a good instrument. I am pretty damn sure you can hear me this week. I can see it on the screen. Last week really pissed me all the way off, but it seems that the tech gods are letting us have a win this week. Just about frickin' time. I was so salty about it last week. I mean, you guys could tell I was grumpy. However, we are here today. Everything is working, and I am pleased as punch to be spending time with my online buddies. Speaking of online buddies, this is the part where I do the usual weekly house cleaning, by which I mean I say thank you for joining me. If you are in fact joining me time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or whatever, I do want to say that I enjoy knowing that you're watching the stuff after the fact, even though you cannot participate in this little side chat. I do love seeing the comments pop up in the days and sometimes weeks after we've gone live. I love knowing that my content is being appreciated because I appreciate the eyes and ears consuming it. If at any point tonight you really, really like what's happening, I invite you to drop me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really freaking hate what's going on, that's all right. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to take an active role in keeping the monies flowing around here, keeping that light on, keeping me in batteries, keeping me in whiskey or tea or whatever, or just keeping me going, I invite you to hit that join button. Right-click the join button, open it in another tab, take a look in the tab with the sonorous tone of my voice yipping and yapping in the background, and see what the membership options are, what the 2 tiers get you for your hard-earned money. And if you like what you see, I invite you to go through with it. If you don't, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to pay to be part of my community here. So let's see. First off, there ain't no subject for tonight. So if anyone wants to talk about something specific, sound off. In fact, should I put up a poll? Put up a poll to see if anyone wants there to be a subject for this evening's hopefully not Snooze Fest. Should we have a subject for tonight's? Oh, the typos are real, folks. Tonight's, I was going to say Snooze Fest stream. Yes. No. I'm suggesting one in the chat. That makes no sense. I'm just doing yes and no. If you do have something that you think we should discuss, feel free to drop it in the Chitty McChat, and I will read it, and then we will talk. First, I just have to mute myself because I'm about to cough. Yes. So, who's kicking back with us? Who's saying hi? Who's not saying hi? Who's lurking? Who's got a beverage of an alcoholic sort for 10 o'clock? So I opened a new Canadian whiskey recently on Saturday. In fact, I'd actually been saving this one, but Saturday was the online Scotch the online Scotch Whiskey Awards, the OSWAs, which I had told you guys about last week or whatever. And so I figured it would be fitting to open a Canadian. This is a Two Brewers single malt, the classic. This is release 35. Two Brewers is based in Whitehorse in Yukon Territory. And this is freaking delicious. 46% alcohol by volume. Delish. Absolutely delish. Practically impossible to get in Quebec, so I bought this in Alberta. Story of my life. So let's see who the yep. Okay, first glitch of the night. Let's see who's kicking back with us at 7:14 on the PM. Country Boy popped in. That was just about when I had set tonight's live stream up. I also set up one in the future. I do want to say that an update of something that we had talked about in a couple of recent live streams is that on the 18th of November, he said, checking his iCal just to be safe. November? Yes, on the 18th of November, you're going to have to put your hands together for the first interview show I've done in a long time, and it will be Mr. Dennis from Canoe Hound Adventures, which several of you had suggested, and I had said, that's a great freaking idea. So yeah, he'll be kicking back with us on the 18th of November. I'll ask him a bunch of questions about his outdoor adventuring, about his live stream series, which was epic. But what I would like to know is if any of you have questions for him on the 18th, put them in the side chat. Put like canoe, question for Dennis or Canoe Hound question, something like that, in all caps, colon, and add the question, and I will note any of those questions and make sure that they go into the interview. So yeah, first up was Mr. Country Boy at 7:14. There you go. Country Boy, what's going on with my damn... Hold on a second here. Tabernouche. Okay. Country Boy is a channel mod, so be nice. He's also a channel hero, so be complimentary. Country Boy, I did in fact buy whiskey. I know I told you privately, but I want to say that publicly, I have in fact bought the whiskey that was my homework that Country Boy funded. Next in, there was Destiny popping in right off the hop. Destiny commented on the November 18th one. Okay. A little confusion because I put up two, I created two live streams in one night. Excuse me. I'm just getting comfy here. But yeah, Destiny is also a channel hero, by the way. Third, we had Canadian popping in at 8:36, dropping a bunch of the usual emojis. I think he's using one that... So those of you who are channel members, I don't see you guys using the member emojis like ever. Do you guys even know about them? Do you guys even know about them? It sounds so bitchy when I say it that way. Like, I'm trying to figure out how the hell does one add emojis? Yeah, okay, so I'm clicking the add emojis. And I'm adding the 3 Rain Dance Bushcraft ones that I had the spoons to design. Do those show up? David Evans, I guess being fourth is okay. Well, you were still early as hell. That was only 8:39. David Evans is also a channel hero and a channel mod. Christy popping in right after at 8:42, saying hi to everybody. And doing it again. Christy's a channel hero, by the way. Gonna skip. There we have Grace popping in at 8:45. You guys are all like real early. We've even got Tenenbaum in. Tenenbaum is a channel hero and a channel mod, by the way. I'm not even showing the... Christy's asking how Grace's son is doing. I also would like to know, Grace. Hey, we got Mr. Jim popping in. How's it going, SV Raven Flintlock? Not driving, home drinking on a vacation day. I like hearing that. What are you drinking, mister? What is that? What is it that you're having? good news coming from Grace. Apparently, the son is doing much better. That is good to know. Poor guy. Poor guy. Boop 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 boop. Stuff and nonsense, and that's kind of like what my inner monologue tells me. These live streams with no set subject are. I just sort of in my head, it's like, oh, it's a stuff and nonsense live stream. So every now and again, I just drop that into the title to remind everyone that nope, tonight we're specific subject free. Now Jim says it's always stuff and nonsense, which I feel is dismally accurate. Nonsense. I think if I had a sailboat, maybe I would name it Nonsense. SV Nonsense. Country boy likes stuff and nonsense. His brain is full of both, along with a fair amount of sawdust. I do love the smell of sawdust. I have good memories of working on houses off in BC. Sawing the wood, hammering the nails, loving the smells of a work site. I still love the smell of sawdust. Still have memories of that whole sort of the exhaustion that comes from being on a work site all day. Oh ho! Jim tunes in for the nonsense. All right, that's good to know. Just sort of scrolling a little bit to make sure I'm caught up with everything. You know what I'm saying? 9 o'clock, 2100. Yep, and in fact, I did hit the broadcast button at 2100, and then was the countdown. But hitting it at 21 on the system here doesn't start it at exactly 21 over on the YouTube screen over there. So I guess I should be like hitting it like 20 seconds earlier or something. Oh, Peanut Trucker in the house. Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so be nice or have the road hammer dropped upon you. Country boy, stop being a brat. So far, we've had no issues, and I don't want us to. Interesting. Very interesting. Hold on a second here. Just let me get to. My YouTube page is acting up. I do not know how many thumbs ups I have. Let's get that off the screen. Okay, everybody's sort of saying hi. Everybody's saying hi. Skipping past all the people saying hi, except for Destiny. Thank you for saying hi to me, Destiny. Hi to Destiny. Everybody say hi to Destiny, because Destiny is saying hi to all of us, and Destiny is a channel hero. And still scrolling down. Peoplet proud, saith Destiny. Peoplet proud. Is Marcus here? Oh, Marcus is here. Marcus in the house. Marcus is a channel hero. So everybody say hey. Everybody say ho. I don't know where the hell that's coming from. Have you guys noticed the new ADHD meds? What does that mean? What are you talking about? Destiny, for land's sakes. Bap, bap, boop, 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 boop. What? Happy Friday. Oh, is it your Friday? Oh yeah, Grace wasn't here live for the last one, for last Thursday. Well, it was weird to have it on a non-Tuesday night, right? It felt weird for me, and I do know that some of you can't necessarily come on a different night, so it was bittersweet. It was still sweet, but bitter. So bittersweet. It was like Campari. It's bitter, it's sweet, it's delicious. Okay. That metaphor sort of fell apart right there. Anyway, whatever. You understand. Yes, Destiny. He agrees. I spoke to him today. I spoke to him today. Well, no, we texted. I didn't speak to him, but we texted. We got Mr. Mike. How you doing, Hikey Mikey? Wow, where did that come from? Hikey Mikey. Kind of rolls a little too well, actually. How you doing, Mike? How's the weather down in Florida tonight? Are you getting soaked because it seems that the Caribbean is getting its ass kicked by, or got its ass kicked by hurricane? Was anything rough down there? By which I mean like the water. Destiny says, I'm guessing Destiny's talking about the 18th, the live stream on the 18th. I say just let it flow. David will instigate something. Country Boy will respond. Marcus will stir. Oh, that's just for tonight. Marcus will stir the pot. Christy will be the voice of reason, and we will have a subject. Fair enough. Is that what the subject is then? We should let it flow. Gonna get cold for a couple of days. So, what would you consider cold? Would you buy another bottle to put on your list? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this is a little more expensive than no. I was going to say it's a little more expensive than what we've been spending lately, but it's not because I mean, um, it's sort of around the price of the higher price of those rabbit holes that we had. You know, it's about 100, 120, something like that. I mean, look, it's still a lot of money if you think about it. It's a bottle of liquid, but you know, whatevs. Somebody coming down the stairs. Let me see if it's someone who can't be on camera. I'm just going to give me 1 second. Okay. I will be right back, people. It's just the camera is off for secrecy, for privacy. Shawnee is with us. Nice to see you, Shawnee. Camera's still off. He's the part where I reveal my new haircut. Just kidding. All right. Where was I? Destiny says, "Hey, hike with Mike." Okay. Right. Destiny hit the nail on the head with her assessment of how things are going to go down tonight, and I feel that Destiny is always accurate about such things. Destiny, do you want to put the recipe, the cocktail recipe that you had put in the quotable quotes book in the side chat, apropos of something that I did today? Or that's not fair. No, because that's prep for a members only live stream, and now I feel shitty for bringing it up. Forget about it. Yeah, me too. I agree with you, Chris. Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of catching up with him. He seems to have been. Look, the thing is that live stream he did every week. Yeah, that's killer. That was a lot of time. You know, because he walked into every one of those well prepared. You know, he was hustling all the time. When he finally got Les Stroud on, he'd been working on that for months. You know, dealing with like his Tuesday night live stream was obviously a high effort production. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that in appreciation. I mean, it was a very, it was kind of a really sort of pro show in that way, you know, good guests every week, interesting stuff every week. He kept the conversation going every week. He had good questions every week. He knew his stuff every week. He had sponsored, I think it was coffee or something every week. He had a prize pack almost every week. someone who is doing what I'm doing right now can't watch that and not be envious of the quality of his production. You know, if I had the time, I would love to do exactly what his live stream was, like maybe every 2 weeks kind of thing. Have one like this where we're just shooting the shift, but something like that, like every 2 weeks, like a higher end production with guests or an interview or whatever. Or like if I had the time, I would figure out how to set up like something musical 1 week out of 12 or something, you know? But it's just, there's a lot of effort that I cannot take the time to put in. So I shall just feel bad about myself and unwrap this tiny little chocolate pumpkin and feel the rush of sugar. David can, in fact, live up to his reputation. Canadian back. So how late am I? It's 21:22 in real time. I'm at 21:09 in chat time. So I'm going to try to move a little faster here. Heck with Mike, I'm saying the same thing. It's been a long time. I'm very much looking forward just to Destiny. It's not really political because every party has a whip. Except that in this party, we don't all have to vote the same way. I wonder if, I mean, I'm not even that interested, but I wonder if they have a party whip in the States. Did my emojis show up? I'm just scrolling. Beep, ride. Yes, they did. It's funny because my custom emojis, I really do wish they were on transparent backgrounds. I thought they were. But they don't show up in the app. They just show up on the YouTube page. David Evans has a topic for tonight. Why does he leave my live stream 5 minutes before it ends every single time? I would like to know that. Inquiring minds want to know, David. Did I just date myself? Does that even, like, is that newspaper even still around? Why do you leave every live stream 5 minutes early? I think Destiny leaves about 5 or 10 minutes early most of the time too, doesn't she? Canadian's wife had her brain surgery on Thursday. She was in surgery for 7 hours. I really do hope that that surgery went very well because brain surgery is never a light thing for sure. Nothing but an emoji thing. Raspberry Rock also put up the oh, okay. So Russell and Christy both put up all my little emoji. I worked so hard on them, but evidently not hard enough to figure out how to make the backgrounds transparent. Ugh, make me unhappy. Destiny's asking what I'm wondering as well. So how is she feeling right now? How's it going? Mr. Steve Grounds popping in. Nice to see you. How are you doing, Mr. Grounds? How's Steve tonight? I'm just scrolling back on something. I just wanted to, yeah, Steve is a channel hero. So gratefulness flowing from me out to you. Country Boy says, yeah, you have to send me more money to cover the difference that YouTube takes and to cover the shipping. I didn't think about the take and shipping. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, you know, you sent me money, but it wasn't enough. Shut up, Jess. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm really going to be going into underspending mode for this year, though. So it might be the last whiskey I order for the next several months. But I did order it and have it shipped to me instead of to my fiddler because I want it to be here earlier so that like you and I can get on camera and you know, and have a dram together, and then I will have it on the live stream the next time, and I'll do a video about it. But yeah, you don't need to send me more money. Oh, tea is such a good drink. 2126. Christy, are you going to remind me to so this is a 3-year, so you know, I don't really have to pour it that early. Is it a 3-year? Like there's no age statement on it, which in Canadian whiskey means it's 3 years. Or by the way, unlike Canadian Blanc whiskey, this is non-chill filtered and no added coloring. That's what I love about too. That's what I love about the new, like the current generation of whiskey makers in this country. How they're completely ignoring the vast majority of the traditional Canadian whiskey culture. You know, traditional whiskey culture in Canada, everything is chill filtered. Everything is caramel colored. You know, it's got the 99% or the what is it 9/10 rule, which means that you can put something, anything practically, in a Canadian whiskey barrel, like as an additive, like beer or wine or whatever, or you know, and still call it whiskey. And these new generation brewers, distillers are like, not today, Satan. They're bringing like good quality Scotch level production. I mean, this is a single malt, so I mean that's a Scotch-esque bottle for sure. A lot of them are now doing, you know, as I said before, like the bourbon analog completely, right? So the same rules that go into creating a bourbon go into making these Canadian bourbon analogs. You know, the same percentages, the same practices, the same wood, you know, and all that. And across the board, it's all better than the stuff that was available to my dad in terms of Canadian whiskey, and to me as a younger person. You know, Crown Royal, Canadian Club, Seagram's before it got bought by non-Canadians. You know, and then just destroyed. Plonk, you know, Canadian, like the traditional Canadian whiskey, aside from the Lot 40, which if you like rye is a pretty freaking good rye. But yeah, this is not a whiskey channel though, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. What is this emoji with the pink face and the tears, Russell? Okay, so they're still draining fluid. All right. Tumor's gone, which is good. 24-hour care unit for another day or two. Yeah. It's good news that that tumor is gone, that's for sure. 6 weeks recovery minimum. That does not surprise me. But at least we're talking about recovery. You know, I lost a bud a couple, 2 years ago now. I wonder if talking about this right now is a good or bad idea. You know what? No, because we're talking about Canadian's wife and the difficulty that he and she are going through. And I feel that if I tell this anecdote, it'll feel like I'm making it about me, which I would have a hard time forgiving myself for. So I will tell you guys that anecdote next week. But for this week, I just want to put all the attention on you for a minute, Canadian, and your wife. I want to say that I'm really glad we're talking about recovery. Because going for an operation that doesn't always go the right way. Not all tumors are cancerous. So, you know what I'm saying is your wife went in for brain surgery, and I'm glad it went well, and that there's a brighter day coming. Shawnee Grows, how you doing? Reading the chat to catch up. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Shawnee. Welcome. Everyone's just saying hi, so I'm trying to. Supermoon and snow are on your mind. That does not surprise me because, that does not surprise me considering all the growing content and gardening content that you do, and the fact that winter is coming. You guys saw this side, but check out this side. Lo, the power and beauty of base. My dad and his wife brought this back for me from Chicago. No, Detroit, because it was like a Motown museum, I think. Everybody. That's it, everybody. Yeah. I'm just sort of scrolling. David says, thumbs up, everybody. And I don't know how many thumbs ups I've got because I'm afraid to reload the YouTube page for fear of, let's just say, I've been bit too often with the technological problem, the with the technological problems. I'm just being a brat at this point. Because nothing's gone wrong yet tonight, I kind of feel like I have to throw in a fuck up here and there somehow. Technological. I'm the only one laughing. Cold is in the 60s and lower for you in Florida. So 60s would be, is 60s like high teens in degrees Canadian? Like I get the feeling that like 21 is like 76 or something like that. Country says that my average bottle will cost me just over $100. I'll spend more if I really want to try something. Yeah, for me too, generally. Although there's a couple of really good bottles around the $60 to $80 mark in Quebec dollars. I mean, so it's probably relatively similar in BC. And there's a couple of bottles. Look, the whiskey bubble is about to burst. So hopefully a lot of these bottles that have been creeping into the stratosphere price-wise are going to start to come down before those distilleries just fold, because a lot of distilleries are going to fold over the next little while. Because when a whiskey bubble bursts, it's a slaughter. It's an absolute slaughter. Some of the biggest name Scotch distilleries have been closed once or twice before, you know. Shawnee's asking Russell if he was able to reel in some new members for the hunt camp, because he's been live streaming. If you're a member of Russell's channel, then you have access. He does a members only live stream of when he's hunting. He just like live streams the whole thing. Now he hunts while I'm at work, so I don't get to see the live streams, but that would be like the most calming live stream ever. Destiny says, I think there's been a change with regards to whiskey here in our province. Heard something about it, but had to run. Alberta is trying to change something about whiskey. They're trying to sort of create a geographical, like an appellation, you know, to be Alberta whiskey, it has to this and that. Most of it's bullshit, but I keep mixing up if you're from Alberta or Saskatchewan. and I'm okay if we don't talk about it online. But I haven't heard anything about Saskatchewan, if that's where you are. I also don't know if that's what you're talking about. That's just the latest thing that I heard. Canadian is going to sleep. Yep, I do not blame you. Sleep well, mister. And I really hope that tomorrow is a bright day. Hibiscus tea for Shawnee. So I told you guys, except I'm drinking actual tea right now because I forgot. But I've been trying to drink like maybe 2 teas in a day, and just have like tisane, whatever tisane is in English, for the rest of herbal tea for the rest of the day. For herbals, I like something like a mint or a peppermint. Love a peppermint, or a Moroccan mint, or I think I mentioned before, David's Tea has this Forever Nuts delish. Not big into anything really too fruity or too flowery, but every now and again something kind of fruity will catch my attention for sure. Yes, you're right. I should stop the poll. Christy's got her eyes on the prize. Where are my damn poll results? What has happened to my poll results? Where have they gone? Where have all the poll results gone? I do believe that the results of the poll went one way or the other. I don't know what happened to my poll. It's gone. Damn it, technology. Why are you doing this to me? But anyways, I stopped the poll, Christy. Destiny likes the fly by the seat of Jess's pants vibe with these live streams. It's so organic. Yeah, you've said that before, and I think to a certain extent I do as well. That's why I'm saying I would love to get back to those interviews and panel discussions, but not every week. Not every week, like every 2 weeks, maybe every 3, once a month, something like that. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I went to school for communications, for filmmaking, for TV and stuff, and I really respect a good interviewer, and there aren't a lot of good interviewers on screens right now. Like, a lot of us, what we think of as interviews are like what happens on Fox, right, where the interviewer is not interviewing. They're just arguing with questions, kind of thing. Or like a lot of the piss. I just blanked. But like another big sort of channel where the interviews. It's an example of what I don't feel is a good interview, and it's too bad because I enjoy it. How many of you guys have listened to, or actually now you can watch the Star Talk Radio podcast, right, with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Very entertaining. Him and Chuck Nice are a very entertaining pair. You always learn something, but their interview style is no good because they keep getting in there, right? And sometimes, the person will be saying something, and something that the person says will make Neil deGrasse Tyson go ping, and he says something funny, and then Chuck Nice says something funny, but then what the interviewee had to say doesn't get finished. So even though I find the show is very entertaining and I listen to it a lot, I think that the interviews, by the rules of what you learn to, as the entire structure of that sentence just left me halfway through. In terms of what you learn as a student interviewer, they're no good. I like an interviewer who asks a question, gets out of the way. And which is why I very much try to, when I'm interviewing, I will back up my question with something personal on occasion or whatever, but I try to put as little of me into the conversation as possible because I'm interviewing someone. If instead of, interview series this week it's blah, it was fireside chat series this week is blah, then I would just try to have a back and forth conversation with the person. Someone who's very good at those is our old buddy Kevin, right? Happy Camper. He does a fireside chat series where it's part interview, part just him chatting with buddies with whiskey. But the expectations are managed because the series is called Fireside Chats. It's not called interviews. Like, could you guys imagine? What the hell's that guy's name? King, Larry. I'm trying to remember the name of the show. Glasses, hair. Good interviewer. Every now and again, got caught out not knowing what he was, not really knowing who he was talking to, but I'm tangentializing madly here. I just realized I'm going to sort of pull it back, but I can't pull it back. I have no idea where I started with this. I think it was Country Boy who once told me that my stream of consciousness needs a beaver dam, because my train of thought just went completely off the rails. I have no idea where I started with this and no idea where to pull it back to. Destiny, yes. I was answering your comment. Well, yes, I would want to maintain this as well for at least half of the weeks. This free-form, freewheeling, careening from here to there mess. Caffeine-addled. Whiskey-addled. No politics this week. Question though, like, is there a part, like, do parties have whips in the States, or is that purely a Westminster style parliamentary thing? Steve has the TV on. Okay, so Steve is lurking good as he's on the TV. That's a dark bottle with no color added. Yeah, but other things that can affect the bottle are the char of the inside of the barrel, right? Or if it was a sherry. Let me just read the back and see if this is a sherry. It didn't pick up a lot of sherry. Okay, well, take two lads in the Yukon, sick them on a canoe trip, and lo and behold, in 1997, a brewery was born. Now, making beer is a joyous thing. But in 2009, these two blokes decided to buy a still, apply their brewing know-how, and make whiskey. Whiskey made in small releases, with a variety of malted and roasted grains, using different fermentation techniques and a mix of barrels. The goal is that no two releases are the same, which, bang on, they're absolutely hitting that mark. So that as each expression emerges, it is layered and complex and probably never to be repeated. Okay, so it's classic, so there's no special finish on this, so it's a bourbon barrel. Like, I'm wondering why it's so dark. I don't know. It just might be a very highly charred barrel, right? Because that'll darken it up as well. Like, I know some scotches with no coloring or whatever are straw colored, right? A lot of the color depends on what's going on with the barrel for sure. Christy will remind me when it's time to pour that baby out. David says, I am late. It's 21:46 right now, and I'm on like 2130. 20 watching and only 13 thumbs up. Look out, the Road Hammer is here. Boom. Check that out. Bam. There's a little road hamming. Road hammering. Country Boy says the only Canadian bourbon analog you were disappointed was the Rideau. And you said that it was too spicy, too rye-like, right? Boom, 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 boom. Jim getting more beer. Ah, David's asking an interesting question. Does Destiny have a charcuterie board going on tonight? She says yes. Espresso flake ice cream, cake, some veggies, and fruit. My colon will be confused when I'm done. And hubby got some good snacks for tonight if Destiny had decided against the espresso flake. Does your hubby watch with you, or does he sort of like enter the room, lay the snacks, and like go off to, I don't know, paint figurines or build something or work on a car or whatever? David says, okay, my solo living is not going well. I'm out of clean dishes and I need to grocery shop. Is craft dinner a food group? I thrive when I'm alone. Absolutely thrive. I mean, I do the dishes. I run out to the store and buy something to whip up for supper. Having an air fryer has made a big difference, though, because when I'm eating solo, it's something that I can air fry, like either my bang bang chicken with baby potatoes, or yeah, home solo is air fryer time. I was wondering if Destiny was going to put that into the quotable quotes. Jim says, paper plates, David, paper plates. Grace is going more utilitarian. There's these things called dish soap and dish rags. I love it. Steve says, funny fact, when Russell is live, I am back-to-back calls. When he goes offline, it does hardly anything. That sucks, mister. Shawnee's going into the bone broth starting this month. Cold weather is definitely bone broth weather for sure. It's okay, Destiny. I'll check up on him from time to time. For sure. David, you need me to send you a shipment of pots and pans, bowls and plates, cups and saucers? Apparently I posted nothing. Shawnee saw the poll. How come I'm not seeing the poll? Should we have a subject for tonight's stream? No, 75%. Yes, 25%. Poll complete. 12 votes. 12 out of 18 people watching. That's all right. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just scrolling. Oh my snap. Why did you do this? You can't tell me to not do. You are my dad. I said I give you a bottle, so I pay for the. All right, thank you very much. In that case, when I pour this whiskey, tonight's whiskey, my first dram, I will cheers to Country Boy. I will have the dram in his honor. You know, there's a channel called I think it's Bourbon Night. It's Bourbon Time. It's husband and wife team, I think. They do bourbons all the time, and when they're doing live streams, they've got their little Glencairns because it's a bourbon live stream. So obviously they're starting with, and every time someone does a donation, you know, they're like, "Whoops, hold on," and they ring their glasses and take a sip, or do they just ring their glasses? It's a mystery. Anyways. Whatever. I was just reminding myself of that because why not? Paper plates smothered in mac and cheese. Have not had craft dinner in a long time. Cut your voice. Holy crap. I just got fatter reading that. Yes, Larry King Live. Thank you. Yeah, I was glitching, but I thought his interviews were quite well done. Emily Mateless is an expert interviewer. If you know, you know. Emily Mateless? Found a pen. Oh. How many of you have read this book? This one right here, this book. How many of you have read All Elevations Unknown? Emily Mateless. I kind of felt like my brain went in two directions right there. Taking a note. Is she on? I believe this is a Hongdian. Whatever it is, this is a Chinese pen. It's I think it's a clone of something Japanese, but I'm not sure what. Yeah, it's a Hongdian. Emily Mateless. How many of you have read all Elevations Unknown? Because I'm asking apropos of nothing. Well, it's apropos of the fact that I have decided that come hell or high water, I'm going to get back into reading. Now, I've read this book before, but it was sort of on top of a pile that I just grabbed on my way out to the bus, and I'm enjoying it massively. In fact, today I read almost half of it. I read up to page 68. So I read the first 68 pages today. Headed to and from work. Well, okay. It tells you how long it takes me to get to the office when I don't have a car, and it takes even longer to get home. So that much of the book on public transit today. I'll probably read that much again on public transit tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'll finish the book. 68. So it's part like it's nonfiction. It's part sort of World War II history, and part like a mountain climbing travel log kind of thing. Because Sam Leitner is an avid climber. It's the story of how he and a friend of his, Volker from Germany, were trying to find this mountain that did not appear on any maps, but they saw like a grainy photo of it. And while he was researching this mountain, he found a book, the name of which escapes me, by a British SAS officer who, back in the Second World War, got parachuted into the Borneo highlands next to this crazy mountain that was used as a signpost by the B-24 that was dropping him and his crew off. Right, aim for this little spur of rock sticking above the clouds, and that's how you know that's where you parachute the guys in. Good writing, hand. Good writing. I'm enjoying the book. And it's the kind of thing that I think some people listening to me might really like. You know, it's guys who are into history. I know you kind of can't say you're into history without people thinking, you know, you pine for the days when we had the red ensign flying over Ottawa and, you know, better days and all that stuff. But I mean, I like history, but not in that kind of weird way. But I mean, people who like reading about sort of World War II and the outdoors, right? Oh, the wild outdoors, because Borneo in the Second World War was, I mean, parts of it were completely impenetrable. But anyways, it's a cool book. I'm enjoying it. Peanut Trucker says, not on the menu tonight, but in my younger days, it would have been a night snack to go trucking on. Yeah, Peanut Trucker's talking about some the kind of snacks that make me sort of gain weight just thinking about them. Yes, U.S. political parties do have whips. Okay. Now 17 watching, 15 thumbs ups. What's going on? What is going on? It's a pretty good rate, though. It's a pretty good, Jim's thumb was up already. Okay, so Destiny says he enters the boudoir, presents the snacks or charcuterie board, waits for the royal yay or nay, then quietly exits the room for destinations unknown in the house. Fair. He's well trained. Who's the kept man? Hey, Beto's here. How are you doing, Beto? 2157, 58, 59, 2200. So, oh, that would not have gone well. Hi, Beto. How are things down there tonight? I hope you're doing well. Fountain pen exploded on me this week, the night before last. So I got most of the ink off, but there's still a little bit there. But I got most of it off. Oh, anyone who saw the short that I put up last night will know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone's saying hi. So I'm skipping that. Everyone's saying hi. Jim says, I keep raiding the fridge every trip for a beer. I need a charcuterie board. I should lay out a charcuterie board for myself. Except, can you imagine I'm trying to do the live stream and what do you mean I'm making disgusting sounds? So maybe I'll let you guys do the charcuterie, but I do like a nice charcuterie board. Grapes, crackers, cheeses, grapes, cheeses, maybe some more crackers, a little rye vita, some dried like salami or whatever Rosette de Lyon is. It's like a big salami, but with peppercorns or with parmesan or whatever. I'm salivating. 2200. Christy, are you drinking something with me tonight on this night of nights? What I should do is see if I can get my entire head in the glass. There we go. I look better this way. Destiny says that charcuterie boards are one of life's necessities, and I agree. I think that's a good necessity to have. BBC interviewer, in that case, I will not have a problem finding her. Just a lot of helloing here. I'm gonna boop 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 going right past. There's a little bit of discussion of Memphis going on between David and Peanut Trucker, and I'm gonna go on a limb and say we're not talking about the ancient Memphis in ancient Egypt. We're talking about the one in whatever state it's in. Tennessee, Louisiana. It's Tennessee. Moving right along. Everybody. Oh, he's even got the music notes there now. Yeah, yeah. Rock your body. Yeah, yeah. Everybody. And then Eddie B ruins it. How's it going, Mr. B? How are you doing? I got a whiskey. Do you have a whiskey tonight? So the thing is, this is released 35. I bought it a few years ago. So if I was to go and buy this bottle again, I would not be able to get this bottle because it's not released 35 anymore. So with a distillery that releases that where everything is a batch release, if you love a release, run out and buy another bottle immediately because you're not going to be able to get it again. But because I bought this bottle a couple of years ago, I had no idea that I was going to like it so much. It's tragic. I bet you Honeybee is drinking something good tonight. Back streets back, all right. I did, in fact, pour. That's Christy. Thank you very much. And you were right on the money. Right upon the money. Apparently, David says that cheese and crackers go well with Kraft dinner. Like on the side, a little side dish, a little bit of side dish happening. Christy's having the Evan Williams, nice. And Jim's having ramen noodles. One of my children is in the kitchen. It's the older one though. I recognize that coughing. Destiny misses Russ's special features. Still waiting for the one with you know who. If I had the time, I would make some special features, and I would like with everyone say, thanks to Russell for this concept. The Buttman one is really good. Cody, what you doing?
Drinking juice.
Is there pizza next to you?
Possibly.
Could I have one small piece?
Yeah, you want me to throw it down on the floor? Come pick it up?
No, I will turn off the camera when you come down.
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding. This child of mine, sweet child of mine. Oh, Destiny doesn't like Buttman. I love Buttman. I think that one's great. Memphis, Tennessee. Every time you say Memphis, Tennessee, it sounds like a lyric in a song. Destiny really doesn't like Buttman. Okay. She still has nightmares. Hey, stranger. You have to embrace the Buttman. That sounds gross. And the instigator instigates. Absolutely. Honeybee is having no whiskey this evening, unfortunately. I might pick up a bottle of Redbreast 12, and Redbreast 12 is a nice bottle. The cask strength is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Underwear Man is just as bad. Different, though. Absolutely different. So nobody's read All Elevations Unknown except for me, eh? Is that it? Honeybee, I think you'd enjoy this book. I'll show the cover again because I believe he was not here yet. I was hoping that someone had read it so we could discuss, but no. David Evans is going to change his name on Hope. I'm just going to hide my camera. I know, but I've got booze on. I got booze on. Oh, actually, except that you are now old enough that the rules do not apply any longer. So you want to say hi?
Where's your camera?
Come down here.
Oh.
Can anyone hear my voice?
Yeah, they can totally hear
This
you.
is how sick I am.
Yep.
Okay, bye, Dad.
Okay, bye. Love you and I'm proud of you.
Have you been hiding this
Share them
far?
with your... I'll pick them up tomorrow. Share them with your sister. Share them with your sister.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. That girl's a hurricane. Well, they all said hi.
I know, because I'm the star of the show.
All right. Anybody is currently book clubbing with an outdoorsy aunt of yours. What's one more book? Exactly. Book clubbing, eh? That sounds cool. Just let me take a great big bite and not make a whole bunch of chewing sounds in your guys'. That's a fair point. Andrew, you didn't think the pizza was going to be free, did you, Jess? Peanut Tucker wants pizza too. So does Destiny. It's a very basic pizza. It's from Pizza Pizza. Simple pepperoni. No pineapple. No pineapple. Hawaiian pizza isn't even from Hawaii. The guy who created it was in, I think, Alberta or Ontario. Gonna take a bite. Gonna mute myself. How many of you guys remember? I think it was like late 60s to 70s era houses that had floors. How often they had like an intercom, one per floor. Do you guys remember those? You guys remember those? Oh my snap. Sausage, bacon, and ham deep dish pizza. That sounds a little more epic than what I'm eating right now. Jim's crew is doing a pizza party on Thursday. Pizza now. On Thursday night, I am taking. Tenenbaum says he was from Winnipeg. Okay, but was he in Winnipeg, or was he from Winnipeg but living in like Calgary or something? On Thursday, I'm taking the missus to La Grande Dégustation, which is the annual wine and spirits show held by the SAQ. They have it in the old Port of Montreal. It's very picturesque. And if you got the SAQ app on your phone, you know, and you're discovering some new bottles, what you can do is with the phone app, boop, scan the barcode, buy the bottle, and it'll show up at your local SAQ, you know, a week later or something for you to go and pick it up. It's 2025. Just text him. Fair enough. I mean, he's not wrong. I would love there to be intercoms in our house, though. Except I kind of feel that Clem would abuse them massively. Also true. Like at one point we couldn't order food in, right? Like at one point if you didn't want to go to the Agora or something to buy, edibles from the market, you had to make your own food at home. Like there was no, you couldn't call and have someone deliver, amphorae of wine and grapes to your villa. Such a sad way to live. Okay. Because I didn't remember Winnipeg being the place where it happened. Do you get Hawaiian pizza in like in a place like Stockholm? Like maybe not every town, but I'm waiting to hear if he responds or not. Water. Excuse me. Uh-oh, a hiccup. I hope that doesn't turn into a problem. If he's not yawning, he's hiccuping. What's next? Belching the whole time? Maybe. So how does it work then? Like, is Instacart where somebody goes through the store and gets the stuff for you and then puts it in like a bin or something for you to come and get? Is that how that works? Or is it like a delivery thing? Mmm. Kebab pizza. How is that? I would like to try that. I remember in Paris, like in France, they'd added an egg to everything. Like you buy a pizza and they'd crack an egg into the middle of it. You order a salad and there was a hard-boiled egg sliced into it or diced into it. Like everything had an egg. And the salads I was fine, but I was really thrown when I tried my first French pizza and there was like an egg cracked into the middle of it. I was like, is that really necessary? Is it? So, but you don't have an address. So you mean you make the order and you say, I'm the one in the long red truck or whatever, parked right at the entrance to the parking lot? Or how does it work? How does it work? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. That actually sounds really good to me. Like whenever I'm having a few pieces of pizza, I often think, man, I wish there was a veg of some sort, not including potato fries, you know? But that sounds pretty good to me. Yep. I knew that about Japanese cuisine. Yep. I like to have a couple of eggs in the morning. Excellent way to start the day with some good protein for sure. David would like to order pizza. Yeah. Kebab pizza can be very good, saith Tenenbaum. Oh, okay. So they deliver to the truck stops. Okay. And so how long is this? Do you mean you pull in, make your order, and you wait a half hour, or do you have to sort of order the day before and say, I'll be at this truck stop at this time? That actually sounds really good. It says Raven Kebab. Pizza is topped with marinated kebab meat and finished with a creamy, often garlic or yogurt based sauce after baking. I would like to try that. Peanut Sugar says, let's all get together and order David Evans a few pizzas. Okay. So you order your groceries when you're going to do your 10-hour break. It takes 30 minutes to an hour for delivery. Okay. There's a system for everything, eh? System for everything. So I guess each store has like a closest truck stop then? Because, I mean, it still has to be not too long to get to, right? See, I'm doing a great interview here tonight, guys. Ask my questions and then get out of the way. Spoiler alert, it won't be warm anymore by the time it gets there. It feels like tonight's really going fast. It's already like 20 past 10. Not that I need more pizza. I'm just sad that it's gone. So I'm thinking that after this book, do I have it over here? Little Farley Mowat action. Give that a read. If you have read and enjoyed any of one, Fludge. What? Let me start that again. If you have read and enjoyed any one of Farley Mowat's 17 other books, a list that includes People of the Deer, The Dog Who Wouldn't Be, Gray Seas Under, This Rock Within the Sea, and Sibir, Never Cry Wolf is an experience you won't want to miss. We commend it without hesitation as one of his finest. If you have never read a book by this most versatile and many would say most skillful and accomplished of Canadian authors, we can't think of a better time to start. They sure as hell don't write jacket text like that anymore. This jacket text reminds me of, you guys remember like watching American shows that were filmed in like the early, late 40s, 50s to the early 60s, where the product placement would be so obvious that like it would be added to the dialogue of the show. You know, like, hey, Martin, what are you doing down there? Olivia, I'm trying to wash the oil stains out of my sneakers with this name brand detergent that makes short work of long stains or whatever. Do you guys remember like those old shows where there'd be like a product placement dialogue right there? It reminds me of like whenever I read jacket text like this, it reminds me of that. Some will describe Never Cry Wolf as one of the funniest books of this or any other publishing season. Others will treasure it as a marvelously sensitive and compassionate narrative of the outdoors and the world of nature. All will find it a memorable reading experience. McClelland and Stewart Limited. So I will read this book after my current book. And then I will enter them into my book journal. Oof, wow, that's a boring phrase to say. Then I will enter them into my book journal. Crumbs. World, what have you done with Jesse? What have you turned him into? The guy gets post 50, and next thing you know, he's got 3 bird feeders, 2 bird watching apps on his phone, and he's got a book journal. I don't have a book journal yet. It's just I have a journal, as you guys know, and 2 of the spreads in the early part are what's this? No, that's planned purchases. Come on, Jess, that's not what you're. Get it together, man. Favorite phrases. My handwriting is garbage. Recommendations list. Nobody has recommended anything yet. Thank you, friends. Book list. That is some shiny ass book list. Right? Name of the book. Author of the book. When did I read it? Did I like it? What did I like about it? There's also a movie list, which I have started filling out. I started with We Were Children, which I pinged the friends about when I watched it. A harrowing read, but an important one. Watch, not read. Watch, not read. Biddy bip bum boom ba bam bam. Let me see. Just sort of scrolling on back. Scrolling on back. Country Boy just bottled down his macaronis. Oh, that's too bad. But yes. I keep waiting to see a macaronis appear in the SAQ, but not yet. I think I've seen one before. I didn't know what it was, though, so I didn't pick it up. Is there live on the 11th? I'm planning to have one. In fact, in my calendrier, in my monthly, these are too small. I have the 11th down as a special Remembrance Day episode. See my little poppy? Remembrance Day episode. So bring your poppies and everybody memorize in Flanders Fields. We'll do a group rendition. Truck stops are very close to major cities. You just have to strategize. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Okay. Tenenbaum says, kebab pizza is Swedish, the same way currywurst is German. Cultural fusion. currywurst. That sounds amazing. Peanut Sugar says, I think our comments on the 18th will probably disappear by the 18th. If you've commented on that episode and you haven't pulled down your comments, I don't think they'll disappear. Because I don't want to delete comments for fear that deleting somebody else's comment is going to block them or something. Because that's exactly the kind of mistake I would make. Peanut Trucker, there's always certain stops he stops at. And it's mostly Love's truck stop because they have water on the fuel island to keep my water tank filled up. David read boat that wouldn't float. Really good. It just reminded me, one of the guys from the Irish Rovers, was it Will Miller, I think, wrote a book called, I think, Messing Around in Boats. He had the worst luck with boats. He had sunk, I think, almost every boat he's ever had, including turtling a catamaran. How the hell you do that? I just don't get it. But I mean, flipping a catamaran, it takes some skill. I mean, not a big 30-footer. I think it was much smaller, but still. I think it was called Messing Around in Boats. Fun little read. You know, I could hear his accent and everything he wrote. And every word. I was like, why are you writing? You should be singing the unicorn song. Jim has that book. Okay. I will, haven't read it yet. I was looking for an opinion, Jim. Your kids love stopping at Buc-ee's now. I'm guessing that's a truck stop. The loneliest of all was a unicorn. They got your green alligators, your long neck geese. That would be a really big boat. Your humpback camels and your chimpanzees. Your cats and rats and elephants. Could fit everything on there but the unicorn. Millions and millions of animals from all over the world. David says, a good sailing book is Desperate Voyage, How Not to Sail. Hilarious. I'd probably read that. The most recent sailing book I've read was called, I don't remember, but I think it was about the America's Cup. One year when there was like this perfect storm that happened. I think. Haven't read it in like years, but it's upstairs. I like a good sailing book. Mostly because I love a good sailboat. The Dove. Read that while your wife is in the hospital. I'm getting some good recommendations here. By the way, should I? Because I haven't glitched that bad yet today. Well, I mean, now I have. Should I consider these recommendations? Russell. Well, I saw that there was a plane crash. I saw the initial report said that there were a bunch of injuries, and then I believe the next report said that there were some deaths, and that it was a fuel plane, right? Jim and David, should I consider those books to be honest recommendations? Like I should go and look for them? Because if you are, I will put them into my recommendations because I am keeping track so well with this book promise list. I'm not making no goddamn promises. Looking at my recommendations. Whoops. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Bitty bam 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 bam. Buc-ee's is a horrible place. They hate truckers. Even though a truck pulls in pulling a camper, they won't let them fuel. The vendors can shop there when they deliver there. Horrible. Oh, really? That's weird. Okay, so yes, read The Dove. I guess you don't remember an author's name for The Dove, do you, Jim? Oh, it was a U.S. cargo plane. Crumbs. I thought it was a fuel. Like I thought it had a cargo of fuel on it. Okay, so that's The Dove. Desperate Voyage. How Not to Sail. You don't have an author's name, do you, David? This must be so boring for you guys to look at. I'm just writing down these two book recommendations. The loneliest of all was a unicorn. Oh yeah, The Boat That Wouldn't Float, right? By Farley Mowat. David Evans has suggested this. Book. The Boat. That Wouldn't Float. Oof. ADHD writing is awful, guys. All right. The handwriting from hell. Excuse me. Scrolling on down. Robin Graham for Desperate Voyage is John Caldwell. And Robin Graham is The Dove. Okay. Okay, it's not who I thought it was, but okay. I will read this book. I will read this book. Grace says the crash was in Louisville. I now know that it's called Louisville. About 15 minutes from a UPS plane, 3 crew members dead. Could see the big smoke plume from your house. Huge fireball after the explosion. David says, when I was younger, I read a lot of circumnavigation books, so I thought it would be fun to sail around the world. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hold on, I'm just going back. Just start scrolling on back. Destiny says something interesting here. I find it fascinating that the Andersons survived the November witch, whilst the Edmund Fitzgerald did not. They both were basically in the same conditions, a few paces apart. I believe that the Edmund Fitzgerald was heavy. I believe that children are our future. The dynamics behind such situations and outcomes absolutely fascinates me. Like, why? When time's up, time's up. I think, yeah. But I don't know anything about it. I sort of feel that the Edmund Fitzgerald was maybe kind of loaded up hard, but I don't know a lot about it. Like, I probably just heard that somewhere and took it to be truth, or it might even just be from the song. No, I wouldn't have gotten that from the song, I don't think. But I don't know. Oh, Tenenbaum also thinks that it was also has a similar memory. So maybe, look, if Tenenbaum and I say something, you can take that shit to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Just take it to the bank. Make a few bucks. Okay. If Jesse Tenenbaum and Destiny say something, you can take the bank. Just take it. Make yourself some money. Peanut Trucker doesn't read. Okay. So Tamo says, books on tape would seem an ideal fit, or like an Audible or something. Disney said, then there's Ernest Shackleton, who made it in spite of the odds. So poor, like some people, situations are somehow blessed or protected. Yeah, the only person Shackleton ever lost on one of his voyages was himself. I know one of his ancestors. No, I don't. I tell a lie. I know one of his descendants. Because knowing one of his ancestors would be quite the feat. But yeah, I got a thing for Shackleton. I think that guy was fascinating. David says that there's a new documentary out about the Edmund Fitzgerald. I will look for that. You can find it on YouTube. Okay. If Tenenbaum and I say something, you can take that to the bank. Fair enough. Jim saw something about the bolts and hatches on the Fitzgerald. Interesting. Suddenly we have a subject for tonight. Now that we're like 20 minutes from the end of the show. I will also look it up. I'd like to see it. Shackleton was not the only interesting guy on those voyages. That's not what I was hoping to put up on screen, although yes, it was, because there must have been some drunk idiots and blah blah blah. There's always some drunkenness on these voyages, but Dan, I was trying to remember his name. Dan Snow's History Hit did a series on Shackleton that I listened to with great interest. I do like Dan Snow's History Hit. He often talks about some interesting stuff, for sure. Peanut Trucker, in the 90s, when my wife and I run team, you could rent audiobooks at one truck stop and return it to another across the country. That's cool. I was listening to the Silmarillion. I really tried. I tried to read the frickin' Silmarillion like twice, maybe 3 times. Couldn't get all the way through. So I was like, I'm going to listen to the audiobook. Well, at least I'm consistent, because I couldn't get through it either. I still say, and I will say forever more, that I believe that the Silmarillion is the Old Testament for Middle Earth. It's like that world's analog to like the Old Testament. It's where the creation myths are, the blah blah blah, the language in it. So I acknowledge the value of the tome, but I do not enjoy the reading experience of the tome at all. The magic part of the audiobook is that now I know how some of those words are supposed to be pronounced. Next Monday, the 10th, is the anniversary. Good to know. Cargo hatches were not securely hatched. He sort of references that a little bit in the song, but not in such terms. Jim says that he was in a canoe breaking ice on a river on November 10th, 1975, checking traps. You know what I need? I need an Edmund Fitzgerald picture for November the 10th in my journal. I will make that happen. Destiny says there's a great YouTube series on the Fitzgerald that includes several sailors and captains that knew the crew or were related. Their insights were invaluable. I would look that up too. Good old David doing the linkage, open link in new tab, because that's how we don't miss the live stream. I know I don't want to start it yet. How long is it? 2 hours. 1:52:32. Cool. I will indeed watch it. Edmund Fitzgerald, the full story, 50th anniversary. Oh, there I am. Okay. I was like, where did my window go? Just says, the Fitzgerald's captain was level-headed and well-seasoned. He kind of reminded me of our David. So he was an instigator of storms. Your attention span will not let me read a book. I cannot get past the first page. When I was younger and had no friends, so just when I was younger, I read a lot of books. Like I was a 2-book-a-week kind of person because I had no friends. But then when I started reading and writing for a living, I was like, I just spent all day reading. Why am I going to read on my off time? Grace couldn't get through the Silmarillion either. Yeah, it's a rough slog. It's a really rough slog. David likes his audiobooks. Just taking a look at the clock here because I don't want to go late. Couldn't even read the articles. What magazine are we talking about? Country Boy likes audiobooks for commuting. They keep your road rage monster in check. I do the same with podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Many podcasts are played in my car. So good. So good. More tea. Because it's such a good drink. It's not a new cup. I just discovered it in the cupboard. And I was like, oh, I forgot that I knew where you were going, mister. I just knew where you were going. We're both of an age. Destiny says, okay, Gotta go watch the link. Have a good week, everyone. Thank you for a wonderful live. Bonsoir, bisous. P.S. Take care, Marcus, wherever you may be. All right, good night, Destiny. See? About 15 minutes to the end. Leaving early. Destiny, no! Tinabum says, because then you could read something you want to read. I can relate. I barely read recreationally anymore either. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, as soon as I started working in editorial, right, in magazines and in publishing, yeah, I think it's exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've read something right. Like, outside of, oh my god, life is way too hard right now, I'm reading, Greg Bear, or fuck, pick like a hard science fiction author, but excuse me. Russell asked David, did we ever find out why you always leave before the end? And David says, for your information, I'm still here. And then just like, good night, David. Country Boy says, my computing. Just get it together. My commuting partner is into true crime, all murder podcasts. I think she's planning my demise. Man, what is it with women and true crime podcasts? Like, are they all trying to planning to off their men folk, or what the hell? 3 more minutes until it's time for David to leave. Well, no, I mean, he usually leaves about 5 minutes early. David says to ask me next week when I leave early. Yeah, Jim said, yes, Scott, I'd be worried. I'll pour another wee dram. Just another wee dram. A small one. A wee. The weeest of drams. Boo. It's wee. It's wee. It's wee. Man, I'm going through that bottle way too fast. I mean, during the during the Scotch Whiskey Awards, I mean, I had a few drams because the show went on for a while, from I think 2 p.m. Montreal time till about 5:45. Excuse me while I pop. Oh, Peanut Trucker likes that true crime podcast as well. Joe Rogan, he's hit or miss for me. Jim's wife is watching it on TV right now. Whoops. So the podcasts I like, I mean, I like Dan Snow's History Hit. I like the subsidiary podcast called Gone Medieval. It's medieval specific podcast. There's a few whiskey podcasts I listen to. I used to listen to Star Talk a lot, but I was just, as I sort of alluded to earlier, I got pissed off with the interview style, because I generally like Neil deGrasse Tyson as a science communicator. I will sometimes just put on one of his lectures if I'm doing the dishes or whatever. It's just the interviews I'm not a big fan of. And it's too bad, because I think that him and Chuck Nice are a really cool team. They're very funny, What else do I listen to? It's hard to think of them off the top of my head because I've put myself on the spot. But Explore, the podcast from the Royal Canadian Geographical Society. That one's quite interesting sometimes, not always, but sometimes very interesting. I used to listen to a bunch of bushcraft podcasts, but I just I couldn't handle the production values of so many of them, you know? Maybe. She's apparently sleeping, says Jim. So I'm changing it to super good camping when I slip into bed. What is super good camping one of? Hold on. Super good camping podcast. Super Good Camping. Here you'll find links to the audio, transcripts, and any other notes or downloads for our Super Good Camping podcast. Super Good Camping. Camping's not just good, it's super good. About the podcast. They're a blended family of 4 who are passionate about camping, nature, great outdoors, physical activity, health, and being all around good Canadians. I will give it a listen. I'm lost. Oh, there it is. Country Boy listens to. There's a BC true crime you like called Dark Poutine. They cover pretty much all Canadian stuff. Dark Poutine has got to be the most epic of podcast names. David likes to randomly choose a topic and look up a podcast. The other night I was listening to deer hunting podcasts. Nice. I know. I like Neil. He's very smart when it comes to the universe. Yeah, I think he really knows his stuff. I mean, he's an astrophysicist, right? He's not a biologist or whatever. So it's really nice when he's got someone from one of the other sciences on who can actually sort of teach him some stuff, provided he and Chuck can avoid overtaking the entire podcast, right? Christy says, going back because what you're saying down here, Christy, is, but she is on YouTube. But she is on YouTube. Oh, Christy says, right. So does Crime with Kate, but she's on YouTube. Okay. And then he saith, I'm sure my lady knows it. I don't need to lead her to another one if she doesn't. Or I listen to Les Stroud on occasion, since Dennis hasn't had anything in a while. I'll listen to Les Stroud as well. The whole Bigfoot thing kind of put me off, but the guy still knows his outdoors, you know. So I listened to. I completely ignored the entire Bigfoot segment of his career, though. Did David say he's out? I mean, it's 5 minutes to closing, so he's probably out. Is that why Peanut Trucker saying goodnight, David Evans? Or did David actually say goodnight? No. I'm still here. I think David might actually stay all the way to the end tonight. Who else do I listen to? I have a lot of podcasts in my podcaster that I thought were going to be really good and kind of let me down. Better Offline, I listen to a lot. Okay, so that's Ed Zitron. What his big thing right now is that he's been railing against the whole generative AI thing, you know, against OpenAI and like all the half dozen completely unprofitable companies at the center of AI. Oh, I love 99% Invisible. That's with Roman Mars. Fabulous. It's about it's a design podcast about design that you don't always see. It's great. Canadian Bushcraft Podcast with Caleb Musgrave. He hasn't put anything out in a while. Cautionary Tales with Tim Hartford. So that's about all the stuff that sort of came a cropper, as the British would have said, or went wrong in history. Some really interesting stuff. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. He hasn't put anything out, but it's because it takes forever for him to put out an episode because they're all like 6 hours long, but love it. Dan Snow's History Hit. Dead Man's Curse Volcanic Gold. I haven't listened to that in a long time. Deconstructed. Haven't listened in a while. The Dollop with Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds. Meh. Dram Face. Okay, so that's a whiskey. There was a PBS one called Eons, like a science podcast. That was great. Gone Medieval. The History of English. Yeah. McCartney. A Life in Lyrics. Memory Palace. The Mortison Tenon podcast was interesting for a long time. Jim listens to Bigfoot while driving home late at night. It's 9:57. Yeah, just as Jan hit the end button. I'm good for the next 3 minutes, but I am definitely feeling it. Definitely feeling it. Such a good way to end the day, though. Like, I had a very frustrating day at work. Nobody's fault. I'm not complaining about the job. I work for a great company. But you know, some days are just you get to the end of the day and you're like, I don't think anything went right today. And like, there's a transit strike on right now, so I left early to make damn sure, because it takes me so long to get home, to make damn sure that I did not miss the last bus at 5:45. And when I say the last bus at 5:45, this transit strike is so much fun that at 5:45, a bus that's halfway through its route will stop, or a metro. I think they time the metros to be like in the barn by whatever it was. No, the last metro is 5:45. Last bus is 6:00. Right? So like, if the bus, let's just say the entire bus route was like 6 blocks long. They're never only 6, but let's just say if 6:00 struck at 3.5 blocks, the driver will stop at 3.5 blocks and put everyone off the bus and then drive to the barn. So getting to school to pick up the squeak on time was stressful, and it will be stressful tomorrow and the next day, because that strike goes on for the entire month of November, from the 2nd to the 28th, I believe. He said, looking at his monthly to be sure. So it's a great month for me to not have a car. Yeah, from the 2nd all the way to the 28th or 29th. Which I love. I absolutely love. I'm not angry at the strikers. I'm angry at the company and the government that are putting their priorities on people other than the people in the trenches working. Oh, it's 11. Wait, just let me hold on. Peter Trucker. No, you don't like Elon, but he was on Joe Rogan explaining the problems with AI. Don't like AI. Real world is slipping away. I hate AI. I hate AI for several reasons. All the good work we did on sort of reducing our harm to the world is being reversed by AI because they need so much power. But more than that, I just think the whole thing is like snake oil. The whole thing. It costs them, every company, all 6 of these completely unprofitable companies, or 4, 5, whatever it is, it costs them more money to answer a query than they make even for paid memberships. Like, there's no business model there. Whatever. I'm gonna really get boring, but Yeah, everyone's sort of saying good night. Rum on the rocks. Good fel to you as well. All right, so everybody, it is now 11:01. So before I get really boring, I will say unto you all good night. Between now and next week, which will be the 11th, which will be the special Remembrance Day episode. So please, everybody, show up with your poppies on and with some Remembrance Day oriented blah to blah blah. So between now and then, everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another.